I'm John Skinner, and this supports my book Striper Pursuit, and you can learn more about the book at striperpursuit.com. Okay, my main focus on this video will be that reel. That's a Penn Conflict II. It came out late in 2017, so this is my first season with it. The lure in the mouth there is a Deadly Dick #1, and that's a false albacore. I can't think of a better way to test a light spinning reel than to use it for albies, so that's what we're going to do. And here's a look at the retrieve speed. This is using a different reel, but it's the same gear ratio, same line per turn. And yeah, it's fast. It's a very fast retrieve. The objective is to skip that tin across the top of the water, and you'll get to see that here as it's coming in. It's just bouncing on the top of the water. Yep, these fish have very keen eyesight. This water is nice and clear, and you just want to burn that thing on the surface. You don't want to let them get a very good look at it. And yeah, there's the result, a hookup. And I'll have links to all of the gear in the description of the video. Okay, so that was a pretty good run, but we're going to get some better runs than that. Yep, drag feels good. That vibration you see on the rod when the fish runs, that is the beating of the tail of the fish. These are in the tuna family. That tail's going 1,000 miles an hour, and yep, it comes right through that braided line, right to the rod, and you know, so yep, you feel that vibration when you're holding on to the rod, and those things are running like that. So false albacore are also known as Little Tunny, and they're also called bonito in some parts of the country. Okay, this is not fast-paced fishing at all. This is almost an hour after I landed that other fish. And you can see this fishing, you cast your reel as fast as you can, you make a lot of casts. That's where this reel is paying off nicely. It is the lightest reel Penn has ever made. There we go. This reel weighs only 9.5 ounces. I'm going to say more about it in a bit. Okay, drag sure feels good. Some other features about this reel. This, as I mentioned, is the lightest reel Penn makes. Boy, when the Conflict came out, I think it was around 2014, I thought it was so light. This one is 20% lighter, and you know, 9.5 ounces for a 4000 series reel. Yeah, you know, when you look at, you know, why is that? Well, they've got some technology or some material that they call, I don't know, some kind of resin that they make the reel out of. That's not important to me. Whatever they make it out of, it's light, it's strong. You end up with a very lightweight reel. The other thing, the big upgrade between the Conflict 1 and 2 is that they're using machine gears all the way through now. That's huge. I mean, that's what gives the smoothness of the reel. So one reel I can compare this to in the Penn line is the Penn Clash. Actually, you know, looking at all the specs and using the two reels, I'm not sure what the difference is between the Clash and the Conflict 2, other than the Conflict 2 is a little bit lighter, and it's actually, on this model, it's about $30 less. So Yeah, this is I think this is like $160, $170. It's really a nice, very, very nice reel. So this thing is spooled with 20-pound test Daiwa J-braid. I keep that drag about as tight as I can without breaking the line. If I don't do that, these fish will just run way down the beach, and it's not a big deal. I mean, there's nobody on the beach, but if you're in a situation where there's people around, you've got to put the brakes on these things. And I gotta say, this water's like 70 degrees, and these albies tend to fight even a little better than normal when that water's a little bit warmer. Yeah, these are very, very strong runners. So when you release those fish, it's good to give them just a little head first motion. Let them go in head first, and you see that one took off great. I've seen people just like toss them in like it's a piece of wood or something. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Give them that head first plunge, and they're going to go. You definitely want high-speed reels for this kind of fishing. These reels have a 6.2 to 1 gear ratio, so every turn of the handle means that rotor comes around 6.2 times. The important thing is that every turn of the reel handle you're pulling 37 inches of line, so that's pretty fast. The other thing is, for this kind of fishing, you definitely want to fill that spool with line. You saw that fish hit way out on the end of the cast and then just took off. There's a lot of line out, and these aren't even really big albies. These things are like, maybe 6 pounds or so. We occasionally get them over 10, and they really go. And the biggest one I ever got was 16.4. That was actually a state record, and I can tell you that thing took a lot of line, almost emptied the spool. So, you definitely want to fill it up before doing this kind of fishing. So lures for this kind of fishing, the popular ones in this area, break down into 3 categories. There's the plastics, which are like hoagie epoxy jigs. The metals, like a Deadly Dick, like what I've got on now. And another metal is the lead-based ones, and like a hoagie heavy is an example of that. And when I'm done with this fish, I'm going to try a new lure, actually. It's a Mad Mantis albie jig. I think it's called an Anchovy Jig or something like that. But I'll be just throwing it for the first time, and that's a lead-based, very realistic-looking jig. And, after I deal with this fish. Okay, so the Deadly Dick that I'm using, that's a stainless lure, and you know what, that fish hit way out on the end of the cast, and I've been wanting to try the Mad Mantis lure, which is lead-based, so it's denser. It will go further. It'll get me a little extra distance. So I put that on, and I did get a couple hits on the end of the cast, and then this one. Okay, and you'll notice I'm releasing all of these. You know what? Up until a couple days ago, I would just continue to call these inedible because almost nobody eats them. Very dark red meat, nothing at all like a green bonito or Spanish mackerel. But then within the last couple days, somebody mentioned they were smoking them, and it came out really well. And then somebody else said they got one, bled it out immediately, and cooked it right away, and they said it was good. So, all right, I guess you can eat them. I don't think I'm going to try. Okay, enjoy the rest of this little battle, and if you like this video, then please hit the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button.